Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Your Impact Attack. Yes, it is Your Impact Attack here at patreon.com/Hameen Media Group as the chat room fills up now. What's up, everybody? I am Kenise Mobley's Bed, and I am joined each and every week with my main man, the vet, right here, sitting right beside me. Smile for the camera, vet. I
There's
feel like it's
there's plenty of room in this bed.
there's plenty of room in this bed. Well, no, there's going to be one person coming back to lay down in this bed after she tweeted about a month ago that her bed was going to miss her. No longer is that bed going to miss her, vet.
Nope, she'll be right back to it.
Does
So,
your bed miss you?
nah, I pretty much live in it. So, here's the deal. First, go ahead and tell the people who may not know exactly what you're talking about what's been going on in the WWE lately.
So, if you guys didn't know, there were some more hashtag WWE releases today, and not only were talent let go, but one of the writers, and it's not the writer that you think that they would let go, got let go today, and it was actually Kenise Mobley. Sorry, Big Ray. I know you're very sad that Kenise was the one that got fired and not Millie. But when you work for a racist and sexist company, you can say racist and sexist things, and it's totally okay. Vince is going to be totally cool with Millie. You know, hey, you're cool. We're both racist and sexist together. But if you go on a podcast and you openly tell the world that you know nothing about the product and they still hired you, that's a big problem for me, at least. You know, like you and I were talking off air. Like if I got hired to write for Friends, and I was like, man, I can't wait to write for that gay couple, Matt LeBlanc and Matthew Perry or whatever. Like,
Frogman LeBlanc?
huh?
I said Frogman LeBlanc.
Frogman LeBlanc. Like
Steve
if I went
Austin's
on there,
first opponent.
yeah, like if I should be fired. I should know something about the show that I'm about to write for. I shouldn't go on a podcast and be like, well, you know, the vet, you and I were about to talk about Kenny Omega versus Meese. It's going to be a great show. Let's talk about some Meese today.
Yeah, especially that. We'd never want to make that mistake.
No, we would not want to make that mistake, especially here at the Impact Attack, where it's all about Moose.
This is really just the Moose. We have
It's
the
the
Impact
Moose.
Attack just for appearances only, but this is the Moose.
It's to appease Hameen.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Hameen, I guess the what would you call it? I don't know what it was. It was an interview, I guess, that Miss Mobley did. I don't know exactly what outlet it was, but it kind of went viral, did it not?
Yes, no, it definitely went viral because as wrestling fans, there's a million people that would want that job. You got picked out of thousands of people that write, that know the business, that do these types of things. You got chosen. Why? Why did you get chosen? Nobody knows. Maybe it's your credentials, your resume, you wrote for these fancy places or whatever. But you should already like when Millie Tamarez had whatever she had on her Twitter bio and all that stuff, and Ben was like, "Hey, you might want to watch out." It's like the same thing. Why are you going to go on a thing knowing how the IWC is and just blatantly come out and say, "Oh, I don't know anything about wrestling"?
What do you mean? What do you mean knowing how the IWC is? You just said they don't know anything about wrestling, so why would
true.
they?
That is true. That is true.
So Ben on, let's see here, Thursday 7:49 a.m. he sends me the article in question where she says all the things she said. Okay, and my response at 7:57 a.m. 8 minutes later is, they change writers like socks, so none of this is even worth getting indignant about. Fast forward to what's today, Friday at currently 7:18 p.m., 10:18 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. She's fired. So this is what I'm saying. Like, you guys are making a big deal out of this person and her ignorance, right? Okay. And none of your points are not valid. Like, you all have valid points.
Yeah.
However, this has been going on for almost 20 years. The only difference is social media hasn't been around to the degree that it has for 20 years. The WWE has always been hiring people and firing people that know nothing about professional wrestling.
I guess
Most of the people left in the wrestling business know nothing about professional wrestling. They're all brainwashed into Vince McMahon's idea of sports entertainment professional wrestling. So this is, to me, when I hear something like this, I can't even raise an eyebrow. I can't even laugh at it. Like, I can't even look at what she said about Bobby Ashley or whatever she said, and I can't even get a chuckle out of that. I just go, figures, and move on scrolling and go about my day. You guys are like sharks in the water feeding off this, and I'm just bored already. Like, I've been bored because I known this is the practice. I have a friend who worked.
That's why I love you, Vet.
I love you. Thank you. I have a friend that worked at the WWE, okay, as a writer. And
does that mean I have a friend that used to work at the WWE as a writer?
It may mean that, because with the expansion of the Realm Network and looking for content, they're going to need people to provide content, and I'm looking to bring at least one person in.
Bring that fire content, Vet.
That's right. So, but anyways, when I was still at OVW, he was able to. He came there to train with us for a little while. I'm not going to tell his whole life story, but the point is, he got a job there, and I let Rip know that he got a job. I was like, yeah, he's like, yeah, Rip just offhandedly, casually, as casually could be, is like, yeah, those people usually last about 3 to 6 months, and then, they move on. And I was like, huh, okay. Well, he lasted about 3 to 6 months.
It is
and
true.
Then he moved
that is
on.
totally true.
But we don't hear about these people, right? Because most of them are nobodies. Most of them don't make waves. Most of them aren't on social media to that degree, and they haven't been until Twitter got really popular around 2009-ish, 10-ish, or whatever it was. So, to me, no big deal. But hey, I'm glad you guys have fun with it.
Oh, we had a lot of fun, and like Javi said in the chat, you would probably no sell the apocalypse. And my response to him is that you would probably walk out during the rapture to see everyone disappear and be like, "Well, I guess I don't have to go to work today," and just go right back inside and start playing PlayStation 4
and turn the PS4 on. Unlike you, who never turns it off. But
never turn it off, always on.
But yeah, so anybody that's worried about Millie Tavares, don't worry, she's next. It's just a matter of time. They're all just a matter of time. They're in 1 year from now, there won't be a single person that's the same person in that writer's room. It's just going to be the same people they always have, like Dave Kapoor, Ed Koskey, those guys. It's always, going to be like that. So those guys are going to stay. The main the puppets they've given up, and they used to like wrestling. They don't anymore, and they just give up and come in and collect a paycheck. They don't work too hard because they know Vince McMahon's going to rip it up 45 minutes before the show goes on the air anyway. So why make any effort? Why would somebody like a Kenice Mobley care to know about this business if the first time she ever handed something in, it just gets ripped up in her face and they go with something else? Like, even if you don't like her or whatever, like, I don't know her personally, and so, like, I'm not against her getting a job, or I'm not against fresh eyes coming to something if they're just going to concentrate on comedy. Because let me tell you, I don't know what she's written, but whatever she's written as comedy writer is probably 9,000 times better than what they call comedy. So I'd be willing to give her a chance, if nothing else.
Except for when it was Fashion Files.
I don't know if they wrote that or if that was really just a lot of the improv of Fandango, who unfortunately were among the list of releases.
Yeah, we're going to get to that. Yeah, we're going to get to that.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and get to it now. That's a smooth transition enough.
So of the wrestlers that were released today, the most talked about person is probably Kenice. You've got Arya Davari, Tony Nese. They basically just gutted the whole 205 Live division. Now it's gone. Fandango, Everrise, August Gray, Tyler Breeze, the Singh brothers, Arturo Rujas, Marina Shafir, and Kurt Stallion.
Now, some of those may raise an eyebrow to why they were released. To me, some of them really raise an eyebrow as to why they were ever hired. For example, Kurt Stallion. We've already
Yeah.
had our fun with Kurt Stallion, talking about what the hell, why would you give this guy a job? And this somewhat vindicates my opinion, because at the very least, one guy, Nick Khan, was like, why would you give this guy a job? I don't know if anybody else was. I know Vince McMahon never knew that that guy existed, so that's out of the picture. But like Kurt Stallion, August Gray, these are like two skinny guys that came from what was it, Evolve?
Maybe they'll wind up on Impact under Brian Myers' wing,
I don't want
learning how to be a superstar.
He's got enough soda in his refrigerator right now. He doesn't need to add any popsicles or whatever you want to call those guys. But like, so that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know why those guys would get hired even for 205, but yeah, I think they're looking at 205 and being like, now I've always said that 205 Live was where small guys with no charisma go. Like, that's where you put those guys so they can dive on each other and stuff and have this side thing. And I haven't watched it in a long time, so I don't know what they're doing now. There was a period where it was good. There's a period where it was boring. And then there's whatever it has been, which I think will probably be extinct coming up here pretty soon. So, yeah. But here's where, now of these names that you named, one of the people that I thought would have been not so much individually, but what could they have done as far as like stories and groups and factions, that kind of thing. Marina Shafir follows on the heels of, well, the last round of cuts was Jessamine Duke.
Yeah.
And here you had a talented couple of ladies that never really got a chance on TV, and every time they were on TV, I thought,
coattails.
well, hold on, damn it. Okay, I'm getting to that, you prick. Talking about Ronda's coattails. Let me tell you something. Okay, let's just get right to it. They missed out on a horsewomen thing that they could have done on one of their million pay-per-views. Like a Survivor Series would have been a perfect time to have a 4-on-4 match between the horsewomen of WWE versus the horsewomen of MMA.
Yeah.
Every time Marina and Jessamine were on TV, they made the most of their time in NXT. I thought they had good matches for people that were as green as they were. They worked well as a tag team, and I liked it. They did good backing up Shayna. People are always saying, like, when are Ronda Rousey going to come back? When are Ronda Rousey going to come back? Well, when you cut all her friends, the chances are less likely that she's going to want to do anything. But those are two people that they could have promoted and pushed to a much better degree. Not sure why they didn't. There could have been some politics involved or something like that. I don't know, but you missed out on making, building your women's division and really making something out of those two. Marina Shafir just happens to be married to Roderick Strong as well. It would be a shame to see some of these guys, some of the like late 30s, early 40s guys that all came in around the same time, to be on their beds along with Kenice Mobley too. I don't want to see, as Roderick Strong just re-debuts with the Diamond Mine gimmick. I don't want to see him, sitting at home next to his wife now, when they realize, hey, this guy's old and small, let's let's cut him. But everybody else.
So to your point on the MMA thing, I'm gonna put a little thing in your ear, since I kind of feel like I'm the residential MMA guy here at Hami Media. Shayna Baszler, 15-11 in MMA. Jessamine Duke, 3-5.
Mm-hmm.
Marina Shafir, 1-2.
Mm-hmm.
Ronda Rousey, pull up Ronda's real quick.
What's she like, 15?
Ronda Rousey's 12-2. So that's 27, 30, 31 wins, and 11, 16, 17. So roughly 31 wins and 17 losses. So it's about a 500 record, less than 500 record MMA wise. And you want them to go against what would be your supposed greatest women's faction and the greatest promotion with the greatest women. Because it was Charlotte, Bailey, Becky, and Sasha, right? That's the women. That's the four horsewomen in the WWE. So those four names that I just listed, just alone in the WWE, are all four standalone superstars. Shayna's a journeywoman in MMA. Ronda was the only standalone star. Jessamine Duke got notoriety because she was on Tough, and I think Marina might have been on Tough. But again, she hung out. She was like known as Ronda's like best friend. So like, there's, I don't see them being able to sell something like that because the careers of these other three women in MMA weren't necessarily the best. Now Shayna paved the way for a lot of women. Shayna was a journeyman. Shayna had been doing this in the dark ages of MMA. She was early 2000s, mid 2000s. That was kind of her era of MMA when like women couldn't get fights at all. So I think that could be where maybe I'm reading too much into it, giving the WWE too much credit. But I think that's probably one of the reasons why they didn't necessarily pull it. If maybe all four of those women, if you pulled Ronda, Cyborg, Amanda Nunes, and like Gina Carano, and you had them in as like the four horsewomen of MMA versus like the WWE's four horsewomen, I could believe that. I could get over on that. Like that could, but not knowing what I know about MMA and knowing that Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir were basically jobbing talent in the MMA atmosphere. It would be hard for me personally to be able to buy into something like that. And isn't wrestling about suspending your beliefs and being able to buy in?
Well, first of all, it doesn't really matter because you know these things that a lot of people don't know. Yeah. Like, I don't have their records committed to memory.
I don't either, but
are you sure the math is right on that? 31 and 17?
Yeah.
Is that what that is? 31 wins, 17 losses?
31 wins, 17 losses.
Right, and that's not a 500 record. A 500 record would be 17 to 17.
I mean, it's but I got my math, the statistics wrong on that.
But Ronda still carried the group in wins. Let's
well, actually, no, she was 12-2. Shayna has more wins.
I know, but winning percentage
wise, yeah,
like half of them come from Ronda, the other half come from. So, but my thing is this: it's not about what we think, Colin. It's about what the WWE thinks. WWE, if they felt like that, if they were like, well, these women aren't good enough fighters, then why did you sign them? You signed them because you thought you could promote them into something. That's the problem with WWE in general. You are signing people and paying them money theoretically in the hopes that if they're nothing, you can promote them into something. And doesn't the WWE treat you like nothing anyway? Haven't they always said it doesn't matter what you did before you got here?
Yeah, no, that's true.
So it's their job to make us care about Marina and Jessamine, and putting them with Shayna did in NXT. If you were watching NXT, it was a good gimmick. And putting them with Ronda, that's all it would have taken. When you do the group, just by association with Ronda Rousey, that automatically makes you believe, like, okay, this is it. And you've got all the pictures of them throwing up the fingers and stuff that you can use in your promotional packages and things like that. So you develop these two to be on that level. It's not what they were. You're looking at what the WWE did with them. If the WWE had done something with them, you had a different attitude. But it's all about the promotion. So if they're nobodies, you make them somebodies. That's what the WWE does. A lot of people, most people that watch professional wrestling only watch the WWE and aren't aware of outside promotions. That's just a fact. That's a fact from me, my experience talking to people on the streets. It's not reading the internet. You're not going to get that from the internet. But when you talk to actual living, breathing people, most of them don't know what AEW is. They wouldn't know what that hat is about. They think it's a root beer. They're not going to be familiar with other things, and they're certainly not going to be familiar with people's MMA records. So if the WWE doesn't get people over, then they're not going to get over. And the WWE has made a practice in the past 5, 6, 7 years of not getting guys over. So that's why we are where we are. I'm not saying that you should have took Marina. I'm not saying you should have took Marina Shafir, Jessamine Duke, Shayna Baszler, and then had Ronda Rousey come back today and have a match with the Four Horsewomen. I'm not saying that, but there was a
No,
time.
they missed that boat. You're
Yeah,
right
there
about
was
that,
a
yeah.
time when they could have got that done.
When it was hot
So-
and they were first bringing Ronda in and all that
Right.
stuff was going on.
Right.
Yeah.
And think about it. Like, they do so much stuff all the time where you're just like, so I don't care. So even if that was your reaction to this, so what? They still need content. They still need a match. It's, if you throw it away and nobody cares, oh well, but you still, you know what I mean? Like, it's better than whatever else you were going to do. So there's nothing wrong with trying things out and them not working, but when you don't even try, that's what's crippling that company. And then you go ahead and hire people that don't know anything about it and make that public, and then yeah, you do look stupid when you do that. But you also look stupid when you put on the content that you're putting on a weekly basis.
So 2 things, and then we can move on. Well, 3 things, and the third thing will be a transition. But one, I envisioned you, Billy on the Street style, just running up to people, asking them questions. Like,
Right. Do you know Jessamine and Marino are for $1, right?
for $1, Vetty on the street.
Yeah.
Just, no, just run away. 2, Triple H put Evolution together because Ric Flair was the draw of that group, right? And it was Ric Flair was to put over Batista, Orton, and Triple H, right?
Yep, pretty
Yep.
sure.
Good.
Triple H
and
was nobody at that point.
he was totally a nobody. Triple who? Oh,
0-time champion.
0. Yeah, right.
0-time boss's daughter marrier.
He hadn't even done the DX stuff yet. I mean, come on, like that was where he really made it when he was in DX, not Evolution. Everybody knows that. It's like Shaq. Shaq made all his money playing in college.
All of it.
Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that.
And from residuals from Blue Chips, the movie.
and Freddie got fingered. Don't forget about that.
I think your timelines are all over the place.
They are. They're totally all over the place. Now, and the third thing is, speaking of being able to put someone over like the WWE, Karrion Kross debuted on Main Event, and apparently the WWE is trying to hide his entrance because people have been like, the IWC again strikes again, has been really just lambasting his very plain Jane Karrion Kross NXT champion walking out to the ring. You know, there was no Scarlet, none of the fun stuff that you get from the entrance on NXT. And it's like one of the things that you talk about. It's like they're going to bring this guy up to the main roster, and they're going to totally just do this crap with him. They're going to take all the mystique away, all the everything away from Karrion Kross, and he's going to be just another dude.
Can't wait, brother. Rusev 2.0. Get ready for it.
Oh man,
there was another guy that was vaguely Eastern European that had a hot blonde wife that didn't really work out.
Borga?
He was definitely Eastern European.
Oh,
But yeah, just get ready for Rusev was at the tail end of when they were trying to get guys over. So now get ready for a version of Rusev that will never even come close to getting over. And then immediately you'll see, you'll all see. I've been saying it.
It's Scarlet Day.
We're not even gonna get anything that good. We're not gonna get anything as good as we got on Rusev Day. It's gonna be terrible. I can't. Just like I said before about the writers thing, like what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to react to that? Like, of course they're going to ruin it. Of course they are. Can you imagine? Like, I don't know if Triple H really shaved his head or if he pulled all his hair out because of what they've been doing. He's like, it's like he's holding up his end of the bargain. Let's just say that. I want to transition into something real quick just because we like to talk about it sometimes, and we were just talking about MMA and stuff. How about I didn't get to catch all of it, but I did watch the Korean Zombie this past weekend. He's one of my favorites because
he's totally one of my favorites.
Because again, anybody that's like that just goes forward and tries to win, even when they don't get like a finish, they're trying to get a finish, and I like seeing him. I'm not I wasn't too familiar with his opponent, but you tell me, was that a good quality win here? Is Zombie gonna get in line for a title shot?
Well, I would hope he did, but I really do. Dan Ige, another really good guy. Like they call him 50K Ige because he puts up bonus numbers, a lot of bonus numbers, and he was on a little bit of a hot streak. I didn't actually get to see this fight, which I heard
you
Ben
didn't?
talk. No, I heard Ben talk about it. We're opening the store now, and so I've been working a lot of like 13, 14-hour days, just stuck at the pizza place all day. But I definitely need to go back and check this one out because I'll cherry pick fights and I'll like watch main events and stuff if I need to. I thought I saw that there were a bunch of finishes on the prelims. I may be wrong about that, but I'm always down to watch Chan Sung Jung fight. The Korean Zombie, even back in like before he had to do his military duties, when he fought Leonard Garcia, when he fought Mark Hominick, when he fought, I think he did get a chance to fight Jose Aldo, and everybody thought he was probably going to win that fight before he broke his collarbone in that match. Let me pull up his record real quick because I can tell you which one that was. Yep, it was Jose Aldo, no TKO. Oh, I think that was when he got. So I think the Jose Aldo fight, he actually broke his collarbone, and like was trying to like put it back, throwing an. Oh yeah, okay. So Aldo defeated Jung via 4th round TKO, finishing Jung with a flurry of strikes after Jung suffered a dislocated shoulder while throwing an overhand right. So I can't remember if Jose was winning that fight. I'll have to go back and watch that. But I think Jung was putting up a really good fight. Like it was one of those iffy scorecards. I mean, the guy is one of the first people to hit a twister in the UFC, which if you know jiu-jitsu and you know 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu, especially with like Eddie Bravo, like the twister's a wrestling move, but it was really kind of brought back into the limelight with an Eddie Bravo who kind of reinvented like jiu-jitsu and like kind of made it different. Like Eddie Bravo's got this weird like style of jiu-jitsu that he does with 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu. It's very not proper. Like it's not, people that do Gracie Jiu-Jitsu would like shit all over 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu. But Eddie Bravo beat Hoyler Gracie. Went back when Hoyler Gracie was like unbeatable on the jiu-jitsu mat. So it's got to clearly work. It's worked for some of these guys. You see, I think Brian Ortega's a 10th Planet guy. I mean, you saw Chan Sung Jung. I don't think who's a 10th Planet guy hit the twister.
I'm surprised that there's not more catch wrestling implemented in MMA because they've got a lot of really weird chokes and stuff like that it seemed like they would work.
That was Josh Barnett's whole gimmick back in the day.
Right. Exactly.
It
seemed to work. It seemed to work out okay for him. So it's weird that there's not as many people carrying it on. So what was interesting about this particular fight is that Zombie wrestled Ige a lot because Ige is like pretty decent with the hands. So he, even though he did trade with them sometimes, and he looked maybe a little sharper than Ige, but he would end up taking him down at times, and I think maybe a better ground wrestler could have finished him, but he had him in enough trouble that the judges basically said, Zombie's winning this. So that was a nice little addition to the game plan. But he looked good in there. It just seems like he's one of those guys that's like he's like right under the elite level. But you never know. Like on the right night, it could all come together for him, and he could take that belt home. Well, that's basically all he wants to do at this point, and he's only getting older. So he's a spry young 34.
All it takes sometimes.
But the thing about it, like with the age comes the wisdom, but it also like you slow down just a little bit. So. It's kind of a trade-off, but I like I said, I've always been a fan of his, and I hope to see, him make it to the top.
Oh yeah, no, I would love to see him get another title run. I think he'd have had his shot had he beaten Brian Ortega, but we saw Brian Ortega come out like a new Brian Ortega that nobody had ever seen before. Like this dude was
the one. Which one was the one where like he got knocked out in like the last second of the 5th round? By that elbow. Was that Ortega or was that a different person?
Let me look. Hang on.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Like the guy did that like that ducking, like he did like a ducking elbow thing that you see people do sometimes.
Yair Rodriguez.
Yeah, yep, that's it.
Yeah,
Yair Rodriguez, like
Yeah,
That was
that guy has hit a
crazy.
couple crazy KOs just out of nowhere.
Yeah, that was crazy. He could have won that. Who knows? But yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Well, are you ready?
Just real quick, before but just one last thing I wanted to mention. We had a couple of unfortunate passings
Oh yeah,
recently.
yeah.
One of them was Melissa Coates, who,
Hmm.
by the timeline, I should have been at OVW at the same time she was there, but I don't have any actual recollection of her. Like I like some people, I can picture their face in my mind, and I for some reason, like, I don't remember her. I'm like reading about her, and I'm like, I feel like I was there, but I just don't remember this person. But yeah, she was like, apparently she was at OVW around that 2005 through 2006 type time, and when I that's right when I started, and I guess she managed the Blonde Bombers tag team, which was Tank Toland and Chad Wicks. I guess they were the dicks in the WWE for that brief period, if you remember that, like the male strippers
Oh
that
yeah,
were
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. And I guess she was their manager, but God, I just don't remember. But anyways, yeah, I just, that, so that was kind of that was kind of unfortunate. And then our own sort of brand family member, Jared Cantatori, I heard,
Hmm.
unfortunately passed away, and I'm sure he's been with us, like, on some of our shows that we've done. I've seen his name in the chat here and there, like on NXT and things, and he was like always submitting stuff to Castrating the Marks. Like, you'd hear his name a bunch of times every episode with his submissions. So yeah, I just wanted to acknowledge those two real quick. I feel like I feel real bad that I don't know more about them, but I still wanted to, like, give my whole, I'm condolences, to the friends and family thing. Um, but yeah, that's it. That's all I had to say.
Yeah, the Melissa Coates thing definitely was surprising. When we first started doing the A show, she had just there was a GoFundMe out to help with her. I think she just gotten her leg amputated. She was going through some things.
Really?
Yeah, she was really tight with April. April's like devastated by this, and of course,
Yeah.
April is very strong on the vaccines and not wanting to take them. And apparently, Melissa was against it, but her doctors were like, "Hey, with your situation, everything that you're going through, you should get the vaccine." And then she started having heart issues, like out of nowhere, kind of thing. And it was one of those things where we're starting to see more and more, and this might get us kicked off of off of
Yeah,
YouTube for this.
let's watch.
Yeah,
Let's
let's.
think about our language very carefully,
But
because this is our last channel.
the FDA has basically come out and said, "Hey, in men, there are issues of heart issues with the mRNA stuff that's going on, not the J&J, but the mRNA ones." And you're seeing that with her. Another person that April knows, through a friend, just passed away. No issues, just all of a sudden heart stuff. But you got to think about Sabu. Like this guy, he's gone through a lot, and now he's burying his loved one, and he's got to go through this process of seeing her go through what she was going through to just up and all of a sudden something like this happens. I mean, it's definitely thoughts and prayers and everything out to Sabu and Melissa Coates' family and anybody that's been affected by this stuff. It's crazy. Just you're here one day, and just like with Jared, I mean, I think people said he was still chatting in some of the tweets, like even a day or two just before it just was all of a sudden. So,
Yep, it came out of nowhere. It came out of
hug
nowhere.
the ones you love. Tell the ones that are close to you how much you care about them, and I mean even just people that are peripheral in your life. Tell them what they mean to you, if they've touched your life or anything like that, because you never know when they're going to be gone or when you're going to be gone, and you're going to miss out on that chance. A friend of mine lost his mom a couple months ago, and he was just like, Colin, I'll never get the chance. Like, he was kind of a shit stirrer with his family, and he, butted heads with his mom, butted heads with his dad, and his dad passed away many, many years ago. And his mom just, like, out of the blue, got up, went to go use the bathroom, came back in the middle of the night, and she died within a 2 hour span in the middle of the night, kind of thing. And they didn't do an autopsy, so they don't know what killed her. But he just told me, he's like, Colin, I'll never get that chance to really tell my mom what she meant to me, because I never really had that sit down talk with her, and it hurts, and as much as we would see the issues that him and his mom would have, you could tell that it was from a place of love. She cared about him, he cared about her, but it was, some people just don't get along on things. So that's how it was. But deep down inside, he truly loved his mom because that's his mom, and he had that feelings for her, and now she's gone, and he won't have that chance. So, moral of the story, guys, like I said, make sure you tell the ones that you love how you feel about them, what they mean to you, and everything, because you never know when it's going to be gone, and Jared's going to be missed.
It never feels like the right time, because you take people for granted, and you always figure like, awkward. Well, what do you just, okay, so then you tell everybody how much they mean to you, and then what, they live another 50 years, and then you just have to sit there knowing that you said all that to them, right? But if it ever occurs, yeah, if it ever occurs to you to do it, that's the right time to do it. If you're ever sitting thinking like, I should do this,
I need to reach out with your gut.
Go with your gut. Go with your gut. Your gut is almost always right in the sense of what you need to do at the time. How many times have you said, I should do this, and then you second guess yourself, you do that thing, that was the wrong thing. Whether it's something huge like talking to a family member, or something simple like filling out a multiple choice test where you're like, I should have picked B, that kind of thing. So just go with that first instinct and let that be wrong if it's wrong, but in the end, you'll feel better going with it more often than not. And that's kind of how, that was the same thing about, like, I did the same kind of stuff with, like, like the people I used to know. Because I didn't stay in contact, like, in strong contact, or even at any point, like, I was never, like, super, super close to a lot of the people that I wanted to, remain friends with, or people that I considered friends. So I regret that. And part of that's because when your friends go on to do big things, like people like Serena, or people like JTG, or people like Victor from the Ascension, or like those guys, like I don't ever want to feel like, as I'm just doing my everyday life, and they have their level of fame, I never wanted them to feel like I wanted something from them. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you don't want to feel like another, oh, hey, I'm talking to you because you're on TV, buddy.
Hey, when you're in town, can I get tickets to the show?
Yeah, funny story. One time when JTG was coming to town, he was like, you go on tickets? I was like, no.
Even no selling JTG. Look at you.
I didn't want to go to a WWE show, damn it. So I was like, no thanks, buddy. But yeah, just like, and so that was kind of a thing. So when I got that feeling like, I should call Rip. I should just call him out of the blue. Like, and I went with it. I'm glad I did, because we reconnected and, got back in touch, and, that could be a chain of events that led me to where I am here today with all of you guys. And I'm happy to be here. So that's,
did he try to have you smell the packing over the phone?
No. I told you the story, I think, but just his reaction was more of a, who the fuck is calling me at 5 in the fucking morning?
The fucking vet.
Yeah. He didn't remember me at first, but I refreshed his memory. Because it had been so long. It had been so long. Yeah. Oh yeah. That I'm gonna let the horseman
can
handle that. I'm not gonna touch that one. We've got to be very careful with our language and stuff here. But yeah, they've done more with.
Would you have known her as the Super Genie?
That's the Sabu gimmick.
Yeah. Because I typed in Super Genie, and the first thing that came up was Melissa Coates.
Yeah, I'll be 100% honest. I don't even know what that is. I don't remember the Genie thing with him. I've always seen him as a solo act, so I did not remember that. So, anyways, yeah. So the like you said, the moral of the story is, if you've got something on your chest, get it off. You never know when it's going to be too late. And I think we can kind of transition into Impact now. Not that I totally care to, but
Oh, you totally care too. Don't
all
lie to
right,
those people
well,
listening over on
well,
YouTube.
because this is the Moose, and we're gonna get shockingly low moose counts here on moose sightings. Very, very, very low here on this episode. Just a
You had to
little
look really hard to find
preview.
moose. You're right.
Yeah, he was there, but it was fleeting, and so that's why I'm a little hesitant to really get into this. But let's do it. Let's do it. That's what we're here to do.
Well, with this episode of Impact Wrestling, we are just
9 days from tonight.
from our Slammiversary. And this was kind of leading up to a lot of stuff that we could potentially see at Slammiversary. Storylines, all kinds of crazy things. And we start the show off with your favorite group to start the show off with.
The only one that can, really.
The only one that can. We start the show off with some Decay, and it's Rosemary coming out to the ring to wrestle Kira Hogan. And this match was spurred on by last week's backstage little kerfuffle that they had where Kira Hogan wound up in a trash can, finding Mickey James's stuff in that trash can. There's a lot of those jokes going around. I wonder if Kenise Mobley will get her stuff sent to her in a trash bag.
She didn't have enough time to get stuff.
To have stuff in there. It's like a pen and a piece of paper. They just mail it to her. But
I'd be like, I'm keeping this.
so we've got Rosemary going over here. I really enjoyed this match. I mean,
Really?
yeah,
Well, you really just enjoyed it, huh?
I like Tasha Steelz and Kira Hogan. I like what they bring to the table. I can sit and watch one of their matches because I'm gonna be entertained. And Rosemary's not bad either. You know, it's not like we're in there with Deonna Purrazzo and Susan.
Right. Well, I mean, she's well. That's actually my cornerstone match to talk about this week. But I'm just seeing like Rosemary in this match. I'm like, why not just use your powers to speed this up? Can we hit her with a lightning bolt or teleport or something real quick?
And be pinned.
Yeah, what are we doing? But yeah, Decay is back to open the show where they belong, right? And they so opened the show that there was a tag team match on BTI with Decay. So they're like pre-opening the show. They're not going to
pre-opening the show.
They're tired of other people opening the show, and they came back to claim their spot.
They couldn't let TJP and Josh Alexander outdo them, so they said, "Nay, we're going to bring in Josh Alexander and Fallah Bahh and destroy you guys on BTI."
That's it. So, that's where they're at, and we're glad to see that. We did miss something at the very beginning. Was Don Callis?
Oh, that's right.
He had like a little bit of Don Callis.
This
in
was
there.
funny.
He's here. He's calling people marks. So again, he's using insider terminology, which I am not a fan of, and I will continue to point out every time it happens. Even guys that should know better, like Don Callis, I know he thinks it's funny and he's comfortable and everything, but like again, what does the context of mark mean outside of this? You know, like the behind the scenes of wrestling. You don't really traditionally say it. Yeah, he's doing that. But and then we have the Decay match, and then that should bring us.
We can thank our good friend Tony Khan, as Canada Spaceman said in the chat. Finally, someone paid Impact's electricity bill, because I can see for the first time in years.
And it looked the same to me. But,
that was our boy Tony Khan, TK. He paid me to wear this beanie. He's paying Impact to have Kenny Omega come in to open the show, and we get. I wish I knew that these I wish these weren't taped, because then we could say the whole like Don Callis getting gruff at the door about coming in would match what happened with Rihanna and her boyfriend recently. There's videos being swirled around social media that Rihanna got denied entrance into a club because she did not have her ID. And the guy would not let her in. So she's probably
she didn't do the old
I'm Rihanna.
Here's my ID.
And her boyfriend's probably like, it's Rihanna. And the guy's like, yeah, no, I'm not letting you in. No ID, I'm not letting you in.
Shout outs to people who do their job correctly.
It's not I'm not getting fired because you're Rihanna. Are you going to pay my bills? You going to take care of my family? Oh, no? Okay, well, then you can stay out here.
In fairness to that guy, I'm sure he'd never seen Rihanna in real life, and how could he know?
That's true. That's true. He probably thinks that Rihanna looks like the picture on the side of Chris Brown's neck.
Speaking of someone that's about the size of Rihanna, Chris Bay is being
Chris
interviewed here.
Bay. Chris Bay. We've got Chris Bay in the back. Did you enjoy Chris Bay here?
No.
No. You didn't enjoy
Well,
Chris Bay.
it's not much to do with Chris Bay, but more to do with the fact that this is another interview where they're playing music under it, and he gets interrupted. So if we have like a tally counter of how many times people are being interviewed and someone else walks in or otherwise interrupts, yeah, then I wouldn't use it here. I'd save it for later. Yeah, so this is instance number 1 of interview interrupted. Now, again, we already know, as if you've been watching along with us week after week on the Impact, the Moose, then you would know that people get interrupted all the time. That's all they do. But I think now it's getting to the point where, since we obviously have some influence on this, maybe D'Lo can get the message across to some of these people, like, hey, you guys are interrupting too many interviews. It's weird. It's like, it shouldn't happen all the time. The whole idea of it is to I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to create dynamic action within static scenes. Like, it's just two people standing there with a microphone, and if somebody walks in, that's like an action, that's like a drama, that's like something's happening, that's like and we're also using it to set up something for later, so it's like a 2 birds with 1 stone type of deal. But when you always do it, it can't be unexpected. There's no drama to it. It's almost like I'm just waiting for the person to walk in at this point, rather than, so now the drama is, can anybody get through an interview without getting interrupted? That's now the drama. And, you see similar things like that with, like, every time Tony Schiavone's out there with somebody, oh, I wonder if someone's going to come out. Same thing here. It's and in the WWE and basically every wrestling company, an interview is basically saying somebody's about to walk up. So just going to start counting it here. And this is number 1.
The chin lock. We got the chin lock counter. We've got the promo interruption counter. We're gonna, like, the whole screen's gonna be nothing but counters.
We've kind of got, like, the chin locks have been drastically reduced, have they not?
They really have. You're right about that.
Come on, guys. That's what I do.
Well, we haven't seen a lot of the Good Brothers, though. That's the thing.
That's true. But, and we did see a chin lock or 2 on this episode, but that's okay if you have 1.
And we weren't very high on Burt Macklin last week, and guess who we didn't get any of this week?
Well, that's part of the taping schedule.
Tommy's listening to us. Well, I mean, in your opinion, the professional opinion here, what if you're pushing this guy? You're just gonna have him debut for like 2 weeks with vignettes, then have him have a squash match, and then not have him on TV for like the next week or whatever. You think, like, would you not be having this guy out there so you could kind of get him on the push or get him like some notoriety or something like that?
I would think so. I would think I would do that. I mean, obviously, if we're talking about literally me, I would not have hired this guy. But since he's here, and if you hand me the keys now, and it's like, these shows are already in the can, so it's that there could be a reason why they did what they did that I don't know, which is why I don't always like. That's why I don't come down like really hard on things like this. Because I don't know what the circumstance might have been, that like maybe they had something that they had taped that they were planning to put in this episode and it just wasn't up to their specifications, or maybe there's a technical issue, like maybe there was no audio. That happens sometimes, even here on Hameen Media.
Where you're talking to someone and they can't hear you, but everyone else can hear you.
But everyone else
happens
can
sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes, not often, but sometimes. So we. So I don't know what goes on, why you wouldn't put Burt Macklin on, but there could have been a reason. But to answer your question, yes. If that's what I'm trying to do, if I'm trying to get somebody over, I want them to be on there every week, at least even just a little bit.
That's good. And we are back to the ring.
No, we're not.
Oh, no. Well, I didn't actually take any handwritten notes today, so I am reading from a website. So I'll need you to fill in the gaps there, sir.
So here we go to a Dreamer interview.
That's right. Yes.
No music, but interrupted
By
so that's
Mr.
2.
Callis.
And well, actually, no. This was Scott D'Amore.
That's right. Yes.
Scott D'Amore walks up and has this fake indignation about Dreamer staying on for a consulting role. So here's another example of where when I'm talking about, and I discussed this with, I think, well, I've said it to you, and I talked about it with Ben when he was guest filling in for you, about how D'Amore basically cuts wrestling promos at all times, even if he's not doing the promo voice, even if he's talking in a in a more conversational tone, he's still cutting a wrestling promo with that cadence. So like everything he does comes across as disingenuous, fake, scripted, memorized. Yeah, and so in this scene, Tommy's like letting him know he comes up to thank Tommy Dreamer and say he was right, and then as soon as Tommy Dreamer tells him that he's going to be staying on, like that Anthem has asked him to stay on as a consultant, he's like, well, I don't really think we need a consultant here. I think I've got everything under. It's like, really, is that? Why would you care if Tommy Dreamer's a consultant?
Why would they even have that conversation when clearly he came out and fired Don Callis and Scott D'Amore's not the problem? So why is like Scott pretending to be worried about his job?
Yeah, well, in their story, they just think it's about like D'Amore's ego of thinking he can run everything on his own and not needing help. But why is that the case if D'Amore's not being painted as like the somewhat of a baby face of the management team? Are they now just going to switch and put D'Amore as the Don Callis and Dreamer as the D'Amore? Is that what they're going to do? Is this their version of drama, creating conflict between the management? Like that's the important thing that we need to have on a wrestling program when we're trying to get athletes over.
That's what the WWE missed when everybody got tired of the Authority. We should have had the Authority just fight each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No. It's probably not. So what happens if Scott D'Amore turns heel? Will he be nicer to Fire and Flava? Or does he still keep that kind of dickish attitude?
Yeah, he just comes in one day and he's like, you know what? I see what you guys have been doing, and I'm on board. Like,
I like you guys now. Let's go fuck with Jellering and all those other guys out there. Fuck them.
Right. So now we get, after that, then we get the usual part of the show where the announcers are on camera over music, running down the card. No interruption here. So they're safe. Like the announcers, like wherever Josh and D'Lo are,
box.
Yeah, they're safe. No one can walk into that box. I still think it's going to happen at some point, but that's just
they're in one of those lock boxes that Al Gore was going to put our Social Security in. That's why they're so safe. We got a lock box for your Social Security.
Okay, so now I think we're back to the ring.
Yep. I believe so. Canada Spaceman Scott D'Amore should reunite Team Canada and beat up Dreamer. What if they did? Can we get a three-way? Callis has his own goons. The Dreamer has his own little goons, and then D'Amore has his goons, and then they just do battle.
Well, of course we can. We can do anything we want.
Awesome. Let's book it. D-Lo, if you're listening, book it. We want to see that next time you guys do your studio shoots and everything. That would be nice. We are now back to the ring. Knockouts champion Deonna Purrazzo is battling Susan, who
trust me,
who again wore terrible wrestling shoes with her suit. Can she not like learn how to wrestle in something that kind of matches her outfit? Because those like bright yellow wrestling shoes just like messes with the whole get up and everything. And then they started the match. And I'm not even gonna crap on this. Like I will, but I felt like even with like Eddie Edwards match, that match was like like even with Kojima.
Talking about this one? Yeah, the tag.
No, the tag match tonight. Like I like you get on people about speed and having to think about things. I didn't see that so much in this match as I did with Eddie Edwards and some of the stuff that was going on. But this stuff fell apart towards the end, like with the Kimberly and the Susan and I did. Does this make Kimberly a dick? Because Deonna Purrazzo called her trash, and apparently all dick is trash. So does that make Kimberly a dick?
Why would anybody know that phrase, Colin?
People, they listen to How Mean Media, so they know all about dick being trash.
Well, I think we're giving certain people a little too much publicity, so I'm not putting that over. But I will put over this match for a reason, a specific reason. Now, to your point about the wardrobe, right? Like wearing her yellow shoes, whatever, like that's fine. My question is this, and it's been a question. I'm sure I brought it up before, and I brought it up with somebody else too. But like, what kind of an idiot wrestles in a coat?
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Isn't there somebody else that wears like a jacket when they wrestle, like that I've seen recently? I forget what promotion it was.
Would it be AEW?
Maybe it could have been the WWE, but
chat. If there is someone that you can think of that wrestles in a suit jacket at this moment in time, let us know. Have like Wardlow or MJF like wrestled in a jacket?
No, MJF always wrestles in gear.
Okay.
Which is smart. He's always in a suit, and then he's always.
Was it Seth?
Seth? No. That's a funny joke though, because he's got a lot of stupid jackets. But I mean,
a lot
like
of stupid suits.
I mean, like they come out in that is their gear. They have the matches. That's all they've ever had. Seth Rollins had lots of costuming and different gear and stuff like that. I'm talking about like this would be somebody that's not known to that level that wrestles in a coat. But anyways, we'll give them some more time to think about it. But that's just hard. Like that is like it's hard if it's real, and it's hard if it's a work. Like you're just cutting down your own mobility in the suit jacket. Now, I guess for Susan that's not a problem because she doesn't have any, but it still like would be uncomfortable, I would think. And it's something that an idiot Lab Rat, thank you. It was the that Japanese guy was wearing a coat, but he was wearing nothing but a coat.
Like, are you talking about Boa?
No. Oh. I said Japanese.
Oh, sorry.
You son
That's
of
racist.
Anyways, no, there was a
well at the WWE.
There was a random guy that was somebody's partner like 2 weeks ago, and he wore like a suit jacket. I can't remember his name though. But anyways, in any case, let's get beyond that. Here's where Deonna Purrazzo, like, I've been somewhat critical of Deonna. Deonna's a former RIP person. She came a little bit after me, I think. I know she's done some training with Damian Adams too, who was definitely there with me at that time. So like, I know that she knows what she's doing, but in recent times of Impact, I haven't necessarily seen it. But here, she really earned the nickname Virtuoso, because the virtuosity of Deonna Purrazzo in this match is not letting Susan do anything so that the match can't suck. If you notice, heavily cut down on rope running spots or just general offense from Susan. Susan would try to do something and get cut off, and it was limited to a lot of like grappling and tying Susan up, which is part of the story, but it's also a way for a ring general to have a match with somebody that's bad and not let them expose themselves by doing too much. So it's except that, trust me, this is a position that I've had to been in for a lot of times. Spaceman putting over the ladies as usual. I'm not going to go ahead and agree with that comment, but so like, in my training, I'm green, but I'm still progressing faster than the rest of the students, to the point that Rip is putting me in that spot that he puts in Ted the Trailer McNailer or Serena Deeb, where I'm supposed to lead the green guys and stuff. There was a kid that ended up getting signed by the WWE and released because he could not, like, they claimed he was like hard to work with, or like he had trouble with matches and he didn't really know what he was doing. And I had matches with this kid. I had a match with him on TV, and I never had those problems because I just didn't let him do anything that he couldn't do. So I made it very simple for him. I told him literally everything what to do next, and this kid, based on his physique and alleged youth, got a job. And then he gets released out of his job when he doesn't have people like me who know how to get something out of him. And so what I see here with Deonna here, that I don't know if anybody else at home is seeing, is that she is completely controlling this to not let herself look bad and to not let Susan look bad. I'm sure it's more important that Deonna doesn't let herself look bad, but regardless, that's the kind of thing you have to do. You're not going to get to have a WrestleMania match every single time you go out. you have to know that there are times when, especially if like this, where you can serve a story, because the story being like, this is like, these women were working for you and now you think they're not good enough to work for you and you're proving it like by how inferior they are. This is a really good way to do that. So, that's why I gotta take my hat off to Deanna here, that she really showed me something here, it's not that I doubted that she deserved any of the praise that she's been getting, but I'm just saying here's a tangible example now that I can see, like, of her doing work, like really doing work.
So my notes tonight are written by Eric Beeston of Bleacher Report.
That was a rhetorical who.
You hear how I said his not friend of the show, not close friend or anything like that. Now, at the end of this, they definitely tease Kimberly possibly wrestling Deonna Purrazzo. Well, in his breakdown here, he's got considering the wealth of talent between them, that would be a solid addition to the Slammiversary card, regardless of whether there is any real shot of Purrazzo losing the title.
What's this guy's name?
Eric Beeston.
Eric Beeston?
Should he lose his job?
Is that like with an apostrophe at the end?
No, it's actually
Beeston?
Beaston. Like Easton, but with a B at the beginning.
Oh, okay. Well, Eric, whatever your name is, all right. Shut the fuck up.
I read that and I'm like, this dude really is like talent between Deonna Purrazzo and Kimberly. Like, come on, man. Do you watch Russ? Do you actually watch these shows?
Yeah, there's a wealth of talent. It's all on one side.
All on one side.
God,
look, just like
maybe if you weigh Deanna's talent, like if you have the scales, and if you weigh Deanna's talent with Kimberly's actual weight, then you might have like an equivalency there. But
oh man, I had to skip through that. Did we have anything going backstage in between this match and the X Division debacle that happened?
No, but I just want to put a button on that last match. There was an exception to the match of not letting her do anything. She did take that superplex just to go into an armbar. So other than that, which was stupid, it's like the old superplex where then you like kick your legs back and hook the person a small package even though you just got superplexed.
Oh, yeah. I remember that one.
Yeah.
Or you transition into a triangle from the superplex position and then you make the person tap out as you land on the ground.
Yeah, this was similar to that. So other than that, like, that's a bump she didn't have to take. So I'm sitting here putting over for being a smart worker, but maybe that's part of the bargaining chip, right? Like maybe that's like, look, I'll take most of this match. I'll give you a superplex.
Superplex, please.
Yeah, just for Susan's ego, so she feels better. Like, well, can I do a superplex? Sure, you can, honey. Like whatever. And then I'll swing into an armbar and tap you out. And maybe that's how that goes. And I also want to just note that she may have figured out something with her booby cups, because I didn't see her adjusting those on her new gear that she had made. So she must have like I said she probably had gonna get that retailored or something and fix it. So it looked like it was working out for her.
That's usually a good transition on a superplex to shit yourself afterwards.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Good way to not get pinned after taking a superplex. So we're back into the ring. We've got Petey Williams and Trey Miguel versus Rohit Raju and Mahabali Shera. Now, could this be?
Wait a minute.
Oh.
This guy, the Easton. I know I told you to shut the fuck up, but I didn't tell you to skip over Swingers Palace.
That's what I'm telling you. He just has the results. He doesn't have any of the filler stuff. And this Swingers Palace was
Whatever happened to our boy, what's his name?
Well, ProWrestling.com is actually under construction. They're redoing the website, so I don't have access to my good friend Matthew Wilkinson's stuff.
Wait a minute, was it Matthew Wilkinson?
Yeah, it was Matthew Wilkinson.
Okay.
Or Mike Killam. No, it was Mike Killam.
Yeah, it was Mike Killam.
Matthew Wilkinson was my NXT hookup.
I can't be bothered to remember all these Marks' names, but you got to.
I got to. I apologize.
Yeah, Swingers Palace. This is where Bravo and Swan compare women's shoes.
Compare their women's loafers.
Is this part of Pride Month too? Like,
no, hey, I love when
anybody
TJP
can wear any
pulled
type
the
of
towel
shoe,
out
man.
And started cleaning them. and then they're
Yeah.
like, so what did you do this year? And TJP's like, oh, I won the X Division champion. I did this, and Falaba's like, I got a gambling addiction. I was homeless.
Yeah, I was homeless. He was excited about it. Like, yeah, that was great. Except for this whole thing, which sucked. So, even though I don't want, even though I don't want this anywhere near my professional wrestling program, if they're having fun with it,
That one
then
was entertaining.
I can't get here. But again, even if even if there's entertainment to be had and things like this, it's still just a steak in the bathroom.
Well, were you entertained by the original Canadian destroyer and Trey Miguel battling Rohit Raju and Mahabali Shira?
No, I didn't. I wasn't, because first I was entertained by Don and Tommy Dreamer having a conversation backstage. So
That was fun. I did enjoy Don and Tommy backstage having the conversation. Callus, the worker, working another worker here, really tugging on those heartstrings that Tommy has here about, oh, what would be a better way to go out than Tommy versus Don, Tommy versus Kenny. You want to be, and that made me think that he was going to wrestle in the ring, because like Callus sold it as like Tommy being in the ring wrestling Kenny Omega, like on Impact Wrestling. That's how I took it.
well, I thought he was.
Yeah, I thought he was too, but he's not. It's
He's not gonna be in the.
He's
No,
not
he's
wrestling.
not. Yeah, that's
No,
right.
he got 3 people to replace him, so to speak. So,
So
now
maybe-
I feel bummed
maybe-
out about this.
Maybe
And
it'll
we'll
be,
get to that. We'll get to that, because they
Well-
botched this whole announcing who was going to be on the teams and all this other stuff, and we'll get to that when it comes to it. But this right here is Don Callis. As Ben says, you can never work a worker, and Don Callis just worked Tommy Dreamer into, getting Kenny Omega in there with the Good Brothers and whoever Impact wants to throw in there.
Yeah, it's easy enough to work Tommy Dreamer. Just hand him a sandwich of some
And
kind.
with some
and he'll be-
donuts,
he'll be
some
good.
biscuits and catering.
It's so funny story. One time I went to go see Ring of Honor in Las Vegas, and I had just enough time to get like a McChicken. So I'm like, and so like I'm hurrying to eat this McChicken, and like I'm eating it over the trash can, and Tommy Dreamer walks by, and we make eye contact, and I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, I'm sure this has been you many times, eating dinner over a trash can or a sink. And I catch his eye. He catches my eye. I give him the, and he goes, I don't think he remembered me from OVW, but like we had that chicken sandwich over a trash can moment. So that
would be dope if he came over and was like, "You gonna finish that?" Yes, Tommy. Yes, I'm gonna finish. That.
I had my mouth full, so I couldn't say anything. That's why I just gave him the head nod. I was just, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Hey, we don't even need to talk about wrestling. Let's just talk about the vet randomly
stories.
running into like superstars of the
stories.
past.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. But yeah, but now we are here in the match. Whatever was it Rohit and Shira versus Lil Petey Pump and Lil Ricochet? Is that the match?
Lil Petey and Lil Ricochet. Yep, for sure. Lil Petey, Lil Ricky.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on this match? Because Raju and Shira defeat Williams and Miguel, but then the match just breaks down. I mean, you have Ace Austin and Madman Fulton come down before the match is over. And you're kind of wondering what's going to happen here, because we saw last week the 4 men teamed up, kind of joined a loose faction together, and that kind of distracted them enough for them to be able to get the win. Then Josh Alexander comes down. Josh Alexander, a guy who does not look like he needs to be in the X division. He definitely looks like when he was going up against Mahabali Shira that he should be put a little weight on him, and he could be like a Will Ospreay when he's like, I'm going to the heavyweight division. Like, it's probably what Josh Alexander should do. I would be really interested in seeing Alexander and Shira one-on-one if it hasn't happened yet. I don't think it has.
Well, then he's gonna have to pull a Deonna Purrazzo, because goddamn. So like, here's the thing about this. This is the typical. First of all, let me rewind that. The X division only means that there's no limits, Colin. It doesn't mean that you weigh a certain amount or you're a certain height. Come on, let's be former X division champion Samoa Joe in here. So, the match. It was one of these matches. and it's really just they're just advancing like, hey, these guys are going to have a big schmaz at the pay-per-view thing. Yep. That's all it is, and that's why everybody's got to come out at the end. You know, that whole thing. I've already made fun of them for doing that. I said it's a TNA classic. It's as old as TNA, where everybody comes out, does all their stuff, then everybody else comes out, does all their stuff. It's just like finish or train or things like that, or just like this, where you just have a bunch of guys fighting, including the champion. Like, why would the champion, who's about to get in the ring with all these guys, why would he come out and start fighting? I'd be like, man, I'm going to get as much rest as I possibly can, especially with my eyes still black from that Iron Man match. Which only happened a few hours ago in his time, but in our time it was like weeks ago.
Medium 5. I don't watch Impact Wrestling. I didn't watch it back when it was TNA. I didn't watch it back when it was. I wouldn't have never known. I couldn't.
X division means no limits. That's why it's an X, because you can't define it, man. I mean, X is like a placeholder for a mystery number in math and things like that. Yeah,
he was X division champion.
Yeah. So but here's the deal. Like you said, they went ahead and they got the win on Petey Williams, right? So, but if the only point of this match, and if they're just going to have a thing where it turns into a schmaz after, why even beat Petey Williams? Why not just have the schmaz happen before and throw the thing out so that somebody doesn't have to take an L? Not that I care about Petey Williams doing a job, and I don't think Petey cares either, but that's not the point. The point is, why does anybody need to do a job if all you're going to do is completely bury the ending of this match in whatever superfluous bullshit that you want to do to promote your pay-per-view? If all you want to do is promote your pay-per-view, you should have just had the schmaz happen like right in the middle. Or whatever, you know, that way everybody's still, fresh. If this happens, it's almost like, well, Petey got pinned in this. He probably ain't winning this match. Like, that's the psychology of going is like, so if he can't win a tag team match, he's probably not going to win a 5-way or a 6-way thing, you know? So that's just something that you could leave the fans' levels of doubt, differently than you can just by beating somebody in this match that doesn't mean anything. It means nothing. If the match meant something, yeah, you should have a nice clean finish or a decisive finish or whatever. If you're furthering angles, there's no need to beat anybody. That's just my opinion.
Did you Chris Bay, which side is Chris Bay gonna join? They left us with that cliffhanger there at the end.
I don't know. I'm still not sure it's Chris Bay and not Kofi Kingston pulling double duty, but
it could be. That's
but
racist.
At least he didn't have two. No, it's not. It's not racist. They have the same gear and the same hair. So, if Chris Bay had any other color hair than exactly Kofi's color hair, we could have a conversation.
All right. So before we leave the ring, I have to ask you because terrible friend Eric Beeston did not transition to any of the backstage segments. No friend at all here. Did we?
This is where our singular Moose sighting comes in, where Sammy is confronting Tommy Dreamer, and he wants to have, like, he's talking about having this match that you were saying, right? And then Moose walks up and says, "I'm in," and then walks away. So, and then they're like, "Should we tell him who the third man is?"
And so that's what confused me, because I was like, the third man's Tommy Dreamer.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
It's Tommy Dreamer.
The third man is not Hulk Hogan. It's not Mabel. It's Tommy Dreamer.
Tommy Dreamer. And then they swerved us because at the very end of the show, there was not even an announcement. They just show the graphic with Chris Sabin as the third man on the screen to promote the to promote the match for next week. And it's like, you made a point during your show to make it seem like this was a big reveal, like it was a big thing. And then just like, I think Tony Khan had something to do with this, because just like that big explosion that we were promised, it came out like a bunch of sparklers. Yeah. Like, it was just like, oh, there's Chris Sabin on the poster. Oh, okay. Yeah. Because I honestly, watching, I thought when they were like, oh, well, who, he's going to be upset when he finds out who the partner is. I thought he didn't know that Sami Callihan, like, that Tommy was coming to talk to Sammy about joining the team, and because Sammy and him have beef. and of course him and Chris have beef right now. Is this a way for them to spin off Moose and Chris Sabin, and us have Sami Callihan go and take this title from Kenny Omega?
It definitely could be. Now, I don't want to compare Tommy Dreamer to an exploding ring death match, like that like those are two similar payoffs, but this is
just
where
the announcement.
Well, what I'm saying is at the top of the show we were discussing about perhaps because of the difficulties of getting a bunch of shows in the can, this can cause editing mishaps and things.
Yeah.
And perhaps this was something where when they filmed one segment, they planned for Tommy Dreamer to be in the match. And by the time this airs, he's not going to be able to be in the match. So they did something to slide Chris Sabin in or whatever. Like it could have, I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm saying things like that can happen. So maybe they did originally want Tommy Dreamer to be in the match and then he couldn't. Or maybe this is just bad continuity. Or maybe they really did have this whole thing laid out and it just sucked, like you said. I don't know which of those things happened, so I can't come down on them too much. I can only come down on what I see for a fact, right? Like, so that's what I'm going to pick and choose to complain about, or things that have like consistently been a problem. Like they may have some reason for playing music under every interview, but I don't know what it is, and until I know what it is, I'm going to keep complaining about it, right? So I don't really know here. All I do know is that this is the only Moose that we get, and that sucks.
Yeah, the little drive-by Moose that we got was terrible. I was so sad.
Yeah. So Spaceman wants Impact's commercial saying that WWE people are going to come. Well, there's a lot of them that could, but
well, I mean, Burt Macklin's already there.
Yeah, well, is that not enough for you, Spaceman?
Is Burt Macklin not enough?
Burt Macklin's not enough. That's all you really need. He's clearly the future of
And they have Aaron Stevens.
Yeah, and they have Aaron Stevens and lots of other cool people like JTG and JTG. So and Serena sometimes and Camille. Yeah. So like I'm just disappointed that we don't get more Moose. Is really all I'm saying here. I do want to point something out though, because as I've said in the past, I am the fairest man that ever lived. And if I love Moose that much, then I can be critical of Moose. And so I've criticized him wearing the jewelry, like I don't think he should wear that in a match. He could wear it any other time. Just when he's in the match, I'd take that earring out. But here's something else. I was noticing he had like some social media, Instagram post or whatever, where he's like putting himself over. But one of the things he says when he's putting himself over in the caption is he calls himself the best big. You know what I mean? Which that's an NBA term, right? Like,
yeah, I'm a big man.
Yeah, I'm a big. So yeah. So here's the thing. Like, there's nothing wrong with saying you're the best, but like, don't say I'm the best. Just say you're the best. Because if you say I'm the best big man, that implies that people smaller than you are better. And I don't think Moose would think that. Moose would think he is the best, period. And that's how you have to be. I know what he's doing. He's trying to get over the fact that he's a big athlete that can do amazing things. I get it.
Main eventer.
I get it. But don't say it like that. That's all. Okay? Little tip for the greatest from, a humble podcaster, Impact reviewer. Just wanted to get that out there. Did Beeston bother to cover this this heartfelt Rachel Ellering speech because it wasn't a match?
He did, because it happened in the ring.
I see.
We had, as you teased there just a second ago, we had a very heartfelt promo from Rachel Ellering, who that I really honestly couldn't tell if she was getting real emotional in the ring, because you could tell from her voice, like even when she first started the promo, that she was having some issues really getting it out. Like you can kind of tell when somebody's faking it and when she's kind of coming real with it. And she was getting really emotional about what she had to say. And I mean, she almost started crying over winning the Impact Women's Tag Team Championship. And then she kind of did get a little emotional talking to Jordan about this. And right as we get to the to the really emotional part. That son of a bitch, Caleb with a K, and Tennille Dashwood come out. Just
calm down, spaceman. Tennille's about to come out. Just compose yourself, sir.
calm down. Yes, calm down, Canada Spaceman.
Yeah, yeah. This was good. Like you said, Rachel, giving a heartfelt speech. This is what I have in my notes. Rachel giving a heartfelt speech, Grace giving a screechy speech, and then Jazz coming and giving a wise old man in a rocking chair speech. So we got those speeches, and that was all fine. Like it wasn't, the screechy speech wasn't fine. It was kind of annoying, and it kind of took me out of it. Like at first she started being normal, and then she just started overacting. And that's kind of the difference. I think Rachel Ellering's been killing it since she's been here. Flabby stomach aside, like everything else she's done has been good. But what do you expect from a second generation talent? She should be able to do this. It's in her blood. She can do it in her sleep. She can deliver a promo. She can have a match. That's the least we can expect from second gen. This whole segment was basically fine. I mean, it's very pro wrestling, do everything in the ring, right? But, whatever. I can't have everything I want. And then, but until Tennille came out and threw the slowest punch/clothesline ever at Rachel. I want you to know, I am a fan, okay? So when I say this is part of me being the fairest man on earth. Like Tennille's not quite up at Moose level for me, but, like, she's up there. I've always liked her, so I just have to ask, like, yep, there you go, bubbles. I'm just asking out of concern, is she all right? Because I don't remember her being as bad as she is at some of these things that she's doing. I don't know if something has happened. I'm just not sure, but I care and I want to know what is wrong with Tennille, and can I help?
Is it bad that Jazz throws the best working punches out of all the people that were in the ring just then?
No, she should.
She should, yeah. They were. I was watching those punches, and I'm like, I can't wait to talk to Vet about these punches because she's throwing some heaters.
She threw the old Tennessee jabs.
Yeah,
with the big right coming. But
Canada Spaceman, was she replaced by a clone, Vet?
Well, that's a question now that if the Conspiracy Horsemen have truly reunited. That's a question for them.
Maybe they switched her body with John McAfee's, and that was really John McAfee in the ring, and not Tennille Dashwood.
That would explain what. Well, I don't know if John McAfee has that nice of an ass, so
maybe it's Jeffrey Epstein, and John McAfee got switched with Jeffrey Epstein, and then Tennille Dashwood got switched with it's not really Tennille.
They're just all over the place.
There's just everybody's just all over the place. I don't know.
Yeah, but in all seriousness, this mostly worked, but that horrible punch from Tennille really kind of like it almost killed the whole thing. But like they all did pretty good work here. So
and it sets up for Tennille giving Rachel a rematch with no Caleb Conley being around for that match. So look for that next week. And any backstage segments before we get to what I have a feeling is your favorite segment?
This is a very brief, like we're getting to Soda Thompson's match, but it's a very brief, very, very brief, like this is like Kojima working out in front of a sliding door brief thing of Myers trying to give some last minute coaching to Soda. And then when we come back from break, we're at the match. So
when did we get I can't remember when we get the Kojima and Eddie Edwards warming up with Rich Swann and Mac in the back.
That's after this.
That was hilarious. We'll get to that. I had some funny points to make out about that. So we have Sam Beal, who is getting his own entrance face mask to come out and wrestle Jake something tonight. And he's got his notes. Vet, unfortunately, I didn't write any notes down, but I got my notebook, so I can take notes.
You can take notes in real time.
And I feel like they stole that gimmick from us.
I've
had my notebook the past couple weeks. I've been trying to take notes.
Bit.
Instead of relying on guys like Mike Killam and Matthew Wilkinson and this terrible Eric Beeston that I will never rely on ever again.
Ever
again. But I mean, I
Well,
have
D'Lo doesn't have to steal everything. Like, he can cherry pick some of our stuff. Like, he doesn't have to take all of it. Yeah, well, write this down, would you? When D'Lo and Matthews are sitting here talking about, on commentary, when they're talking about, and I quote, working the gimmick, this is much worse than Don Callis saying marks or any of the other things that they do. You can't have the announcers. The announcers are supposed to be the bastions of credibility. You cannot have
announcers
them.
2 ends, right? Announcers 2
Yes.
ends. Okay.
Well, it's 3 total.
Okay, I got it. Okay, continue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Here's the most important note. You can underline this.
Okay.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Okay, let me write that in big letters.
Yeah, that's the thing. But yeah,
Like
so
that? Does that work?
I like it. I'm a fan of it. So yeah, I will say that this match was exactly what it was. Like, I was really just saying, please don't put Soda Thompson over. That's not gonna, because that's not the whole gimmick is that he is the student, and if he already wins something, then that's gonna ruin everything that they've done. So yeah, they did it right. So
Yeah, no,
I'm,
they did.
I'm
They
glad,
definitely.
I'm glad they didn't put him over, but I was worried for a second. Like,
This was a fun little gimmick match. I like how he would look to like get acceptance from Brian Myers, and when he was doing good things, Myers was like, yeah, and then when not, he would just be like, nah, whatever. And then like when he threw the chair at him, he got all mad. And then I did like the end of the match where he's like, get your notes, write this down. He's like, it's not your fault. It's Jake something's fault.
yeah,
You know,
he's
there's always
he's like
somebody.
selling like.
Yeah, he's trying to take notes, and sell all at the same time. I mean, you know, the kid's got some promise in selling.
Yeah, he's all right. I mean,
He's all right in
Juice
selling.
Robinson's all right. So surely you've got your model to go after, and you know it's very easy to implement all of those good things that Juice will do. As soda's just as good as Juice in a different way. So
Well,
you know.
well, Juice is having a lot more fun now that Tony's come out as bisexual.
Well, I was talking about the beverages, but yes, since you mentioned it, right. And then after this was where Koji and Eddie were working out by the roll-up door, and then here comes Rich Swann and Willie Mack, and then you can talk about it from here.
If people were watching, what, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, when he came back, was like, I don't speak English, like you would watch this and be like, why are they even back there talking to him? Like, and he's got his canned, like, don't worry, like he's got like his little phrases that he knows to say, like when he's back there do it, because he did try to say a few things.
He knows how to speak English.
Yeah, they're just
fucking working everybody. But and the thing is, when he
everybody?
said yes, when he said the I don't speak English thing, he said it like we're always making fun of it, but he said it the way if you were like passing somebody in the hallway at work or something, you'd be like, all right, see you tomorrow. Like, it was like a throwaway thing. Like, it was like, yeah, hi, yeah, don't speak English. All right, see you. You know, like that kind of thing is almost like a joke. So I think, you know, but I know that Kojima can speak enough English to get by. I know that for a fact. But it is funny here anyways, because I'm still not sure he would speak necessarily Willie Mack and Rich Swann's English.
That's
but
a
I think he knows what's going on.
We tried to teach our Japanese teacher some slang words one time when I was in high school. We tried to teach him like what up in the cut meant and all that type of stuff, and he was very confused. It's very hard to try to describe like like when you're up in the cut, it means you're like right over there, like you're over there, you're in the thick of things.
I'll shed some light on this. No one knows what up in the cut means. It's just something someone said one day, and then we all start saying it because it sounded cool. Yeah, that's how all slang starts.
And then you use more euphemisms to like describe the ones, like you're like, yeah, it's like up in the cut. It's like when you're doing all these other things. Like,
yeah.
It's
hard to get slang.
Kojima does not speak Ebonics.
Yeah, it's hard to get slang started. Just ask Gretchen Wieners. Shout out to Danny Jordan. All right, so yeah, then so after this little, anything else to add about this comical interaction between
No,
cultures?
I just enjoyed this comical interaction before we got this comical match.
Yeah. All right, so we got a comical match. Go ahead and talk about it.
Well,
This is violent by design, right?
this is Violent by Design.
What version of it are we getting?
Versus Kojima and Eddie Edwards. Now we were getting Joe Doring and
Doring,
Cody
yeah.
Deaner as the two men representing Violent by Design.
I'm sorry, who?
Cody Deaner. Oh,
Not. You mean just Diener?
just Deaner. No,
Not. I don't know about
just
any
Deaner.
other.
He's not Cody.
I only
Cody.
know him as. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's only Diener.
He's just Deaner now.
Didn't he lose his name like Jake something?
Is he Vince McMahon? We got Vince Scott Demorse like dropping people's first names.
Yeah,
So-
I thought so.
The entrances, man. I enjoyed the entrances. The entrances got me pumped. I liked Violent by Design's entrance. I like what Diener is doing there. Like he's got the mannerisms and stuff down. Like he kind of cocks his head, makes it look like he's kind of like fucked up in the head. And just like the menacingness of Violent by Design. I guess that's by design that they're supposed
By
to be like
design.
that. Sorry, my phone's going off right now. I got people texting me. Then the match started. And like
then the bell rings.
Eddie Edwards got in the ring. And this dude like
Tommy
the hot
Dreamer
tag.
Jr.
Let's talk about this hot tag in this match.
Let's talk about it.
This-
Well, which
this-
one?
The one
'Cause
where
the first one or the second one?
the one where Kojima's getting his butt kicked and
Oh.
tags in Eddie Edwards, and Diener is over in the corner selling. Eddie just walks over to the corner, gets ready for his move, and then goes running straight over towards Cody Diener. Like this is the hot tag. Like, why are you coming in just nonchalantly walking around the ring, going to the corner? I'm gonna go over to this corner over here. And I mean, even if it was to kind of like sell that Diener was going to reverse you on the spot when you ran into the corner. But I mean, it's a how many times have we seen a guy run into the corner and catch a big boot? You didn't need to sell the 5 extra minutes it took you to walk to the corner of the ring. I mean, the ring's only what 20 by 20.
If
how
that.
many steps does it take for you to get from one corner to the other corner, Vet?
It should take about 4.
It literally took him like 30. it took Eddie Edwards like 30 steps to get over to the corner before he ran over into Cody Diener. And that took me out of the match because I like Kojima. I like watching Kojima and the way that he sells, the kind of stories that he tells in the ring. And then it's like, oh, there's Eddie.
Maybe he's a little sluggish from eating a McChicken over the trash can or something right before the match. But the
Tommy
deal
Murray
is
catering.
the deal is you got a couple of fat veterans who are just like going through the motions here, and like they're like, yeah, this is a tag match, whatever, we ain't winning. So they're just kind of like doing whatever. They're in sleepwalk mode, and that's a danger that happens sometimes when you just, you've been doing this so long, you just don't want to put every little effort into every little thing, and you don't even realize you're doing it. It's not like a conscious decision. I'm sure Eddie probably didn't feel like he was doing what he was doing in his mind, but it's just like when you watch it back, I'm sure if you show Eddie that tape, he'll be like, oh God. But, that's just something that happens, yeah. So like that tag, first of all, if you're going to do a double heat, the match should probably be way longer. This wasn't a long match. A double heat should be like, if your tag team match is going to go 30, 45 minutes, like one of those main event type, one of those like New Day Usos type of epic matches, like that's where you want to get a double heat. You don't want to get one in a 15-minute match. There's just no point. But but anyways, no matter what you're going to do, you're not going to let the baby faces tag first. Like that should never happen. There's got to be some drama that the heroes aren't going to, save the day type deal. But they do a second one too. This is where, so I broke this one down. The second hot tag, right? Eddie and Diener are going for their respective corners. Okay. Then Diener decides to abandon going for his corner and grabs Eddie by the leg. Okay. Then Eddie kicks him off, and Diener goes all the way into his own other corner. Okay? Eddie makes the tag. Diener doesn't. Diener might as well, like, if you're doing this spot where you grab the guy's leg, you might as well just let him tag while you're holding his leg.
Oh, yeah.
Because then you're like, you've got his leg, he's tagging, he tags, then you're like, oh shit, and then you try to, maybe do something as Kojima's getting in, and then when Kojima gets in, he cuts you off. He doesn't even have to duck. Like, you're throwing a punch, he's throwing a punch, and fuck your punch. He's just gonna knock you out, right? Like, that's what it should have been if you're gonna do that spot psychologically. Otherwise it's like, wait, you were standing right next to Joe Doring, who's fresh, and you're just not going to tag him, even though Eddie kicked you all the way over there? Plus, Eddie kicked you all the way over there. So obviously he's not in too rough a shape, right? And you just took a bump off it. So those are just like little tag team things that guys can use to improve on their matches. These things aren't as important with no crowds, but you still got to pretend there's a crowd so that you can get ready for when crowds are back. I'm not sure what that's really going to look like even in Impact's best times, but you still got to, as whatever it takes, artistic integrity, whatever you have to tell yourself to not have a shitty match or do shitty things in a match. I mean, you're only there to do the match. It's not like this is like your side job that you don't give a shit about. You're only here to wrestle. You might as well do it right. I just think some of these guys need a little bit of motivation. And anyways, anything else to add about the mechanics of this match, Colin? We don't have new champions, I'm sorry to say. Just
no,
like
and they got
I said
me excited.
We wouldn't because I already saw Kojima in Japan with no belts.
That is true. You said that last week. But I mean, it's like they teased Rich Swann and Willie Mack, like, oh, you know what? As soon as we win these titles, we'll give you guys the first shot. It's like, yeah, you're not winning those titles. If Eric Young hadn't have torn his ACL, do you think Eric Young would be involved in this Kenny Omega stuff with, you think Violent by Design would be more interjected into some of this Kenny Omega stuff or no?
Probably not. I think he would probably just be, I mean, I don't know. First of all, let me just say, I don't know. Let me also then say that what I'm supposing is he would just be in some of these interchangeable parts in some of the angles they've been doing. So rather than him only being on the floor, he could be one of the guys in the tag team match or things of that nature. And then if you want to do something with Violent by Design and Kenny, then you can spin that off after whatever Sami Callihan does. It's like if Sami Callihan doesn't beat Kenny, then who else is going to try? Maybe somebody else from Violent by Design is going to try now. Maybe that would have been Eric Young. So maybe they're prolonging this to wait for an Eric Young. I'm not saying that that's a great idea or even that that's what they want to do, but it's just a possibility. Depends on what they really have planned for Kenny and this Impact title going forward. I don't know how long they want him to keep it. So, but there's potential to drag this out for a few more months if they want him to keep it. So, we'll see.
We will see. We will see. And you got anything else about this match here?
No, this was like, I don't know. I didn't really feel like a good main event tag team championship match. It felt like it could have been any match. It didn't even feel any different than that X Division story advancing gimmick that they had earlier in the night, really. And that's too bad because, I like Kojima, but we all knew what he was here for.
We all know who he was here for. Eric Beeston didn't clearly know what he was here for because even if some will take with that said, it made sense that the heels went over here. Even if some will take exception to Kojima losing this much upon his arrival in the promotion. So this dude just thought that like Kojima was going to come over here and run rampant.
He is now an Impact wrestler full time. Yeah. So this guy's a mark. I think we established that earlier. This cements it. I'm sure if you picked out other little passages from his write-up that we could cement it even further, but we don't need to do that because that's giving him too much publicity, just like we should be giving none of these nobodies a publicity. We're nobodies enough. We don't need other nobodies trying to get in on our shit, Colin, right? So So change. So get in somebody else's bed. Let's get in. Let's see. I'm sure Spaceman would approve of Tony Storm or perhaps Tennille Dashwood's bed. Any other bed. But I don't know who that is, and neither should any of you. And we will all forget it inside of a couple of weeks, if not months. And yeah, that's pretty much our Impact show. They didn't really go out. They went out on a match. They didn't really go out on a cliffhanger or a lead in to the next episode. So we just have to sit here and hold this L. The L being the lack of Moose overall on the program. And when you're doing a podcast called The Moose Moose, it's really tough when your namesake barely makes an appearance and says two things. It says one word, I'm in. Yeah.
That's all we need, though. That's really, I mean, it's Moose. He makes the show with just 2 words.
Speak for yourself.
Imagine
I trade it all for a little more.
Imagine if there was a crowd, the pop that would be from like Moose just sliding in for 2 seconds to be like, I'm in, and then he leaves.
I feel like
it'd be like an Austin coming to save mankind type of pop.
I feel like the majority of people do not feel the same way we feel, and that's.
I don't know. I think guys in the chat, do you feel the same way that Vet and I feel about Moose? Let us know.
Type 1 for Moose and type 2 for no Moose.
One for yes Moose, 2 for no Moose.
Yeah, but yeah. I mean that. So I don't know. We'll see.
Is Moose all in?
I don't know. He might be signing another Impact contract.
So is he going to be the Jay Lethal of Impact Wrestling?
Could be. Could be.
We got yes Moose from Lab Rat.
He's already been on Ring of Honor, so
we've got Canada Spaceman wants to get you filmed doing the Vetty on the street.
Yeah, you know, Moose. People are gonna be like, "What?"
Sonic the Hedge Rat is with a 1.
Well, we knew Sonic could be in. Sonic's down. We all like. He won't be in. What?
He won't be all in, but we like Moose.
Yeah.
So media. So that's at least 4 people out of the 8 watching right now. And I'm sure one of those ones watching is you. So we're over a majority of people that enjoy Moose.
Yeah, and that's fine, but we got to get those numbers up. You know, we got to start getting into the 17s. I don't know if our time slot hurts us, because I know a lot of the HMG fans are down in the morning, because most of the shows get broadcast live in the morning and whatever. So our moving to Friday nights or whatever is like, you know, we might could get more people, but yes, I only assume good things, Sonic. You know,
you love Moose.
Yeah.
So we assume you're a good dude.
That's right. You can't be, no one who appreciates Moose can be all bad. No. We're not saying they're patron saints or anything, just they're trending in the right direction at the very, very least. And probably more than the very least. So yeah, we want to get those numbers up, and we want to get the Moose Nation where it needs to be. So if you guys, you know, want to spread the love and talk about the Moose with your friends and be like, yeah, I know Impact sucks, but you don't have to watch it to enjoy these guys talking about it and laughing at it and putting Moose over and all these other things. We'd appreciate that. And we appreciate you guys for being here. I wanted to see you guys on Wednesday. But here's the story. Here's the backstory for the NXT, because I know some of you guys were there. So Big Ray, as we all know, congratulations to him getting married, but he's back now in the New York area, right? And I sent a message to Ben the day before saying Ben is Ray is back tomorrow, right? Kayfabed. No response, nothing. Then, just from happening to scroll through social media, I see that Ray is busy helping somebody move or something, or whatever bullshit was going on. I don't know. Right? Okay, so I see this, and then I message Ben again, say, okay, guess not, I'll be ready. Okay? No response. At work, I have an hour lunch break. I wasn't prepared to watch NXT. Otherwise, I would have watched some before I went to work and then finished at work or whatever. Because I got to come, like Ben goes live. He doesn't care if I'm there or not. He's going live at 10. So I'm like, okay, I got to have the whole show watched. So I'm sitting there on my phone watching the entire episode of NXT at 1.5 times speed, just so I can make it through in time to be ready. So I say all this, and then I get there, and then the roadcaster needs an update. I'm like, hey man, I'll wait. You know, we can do it. Ben doesn't care. He's forging ahead. He doesn't need the vet. Who needs the vet? I'll just sit here and read somebody else's fucking write-up.
Who needs the vet when you've got Matthew Wilkinson?
Yeah, or whoever it was on Wrestle Inc.
Wasn't Eric Beeston?
Yeah, it definitely wasn't. So like, who needs me? Nobody cares. Let's just move on. So like, I was half hot about that because I'm like, dude, I crammed this show to help you out. He did eventually message me and say, thank you, bro, which let me know that he appreciated me being ready. Not enough to sort out the issues and re-invite me to StreamYard and go back and to do the show with him. Not that much, but enough. So that's why, I had to, just sit there in the chat and listen to the reading of a Wrestling Inc. recap. But that's fine. And then at the end, I said in the comments, I said this show needed me, and he was like, "Oh, wow, sorry, I didn't mean to stink the joint out, vet. Sorry, it was the shits." It's not that you were the shits. It's just that I just really had some things to say, and we could have had some good conversation because, But I just want you to know, like that's the level that I go to for you guys here, and even the guys that aren't here, like that normally would be, like Frank. And, so a few of the others, even the guys that I'm not over with, like Society Reviews or whatever, doesn't care for me too much, but like, it's still for him. It's still for all you guys. I'm willing to go to that level for the group and for the fans. That's what I want to do here. And so like, it hurts me that there's a piece of content, not that I'm so egotistical that I could have been on it, but I think it's more entertaining for you guys if Ben and I can go back and forth, because we don't always see eye to eye on things, and that creates an interesting conversation. It's just like I told him the last time I did a show with him, I was like, y'all agree on here too much. You need somebody to come in and disrupt it once in a while. And that makes it entertaining for everybody. So, that's basically just what I had to say. But that's the behind the scenes of what ended up happening on Wednesday morning. I was totally ready to go, and technical difficulties held it back, but, I'm always ready at the drop of a hat to do anybody's show. I jumped in on the Smack Attack when called upon. I was the first person to respond to it, wanted to be on it. I enjoy working with everybody here, and I look forward to working with the people I haven't. But yeah, that was just mainly to put myself over and say that that it's I'm putting myself over for your guys' sake. Like, that's how much I care for something that, I'm not saying nobody else, and I'm not saying anything about Hummy Media Group. I'm not saying nobody else treats it that way, but I am saying that for guys like Eric Beeson, who just don't even feel like they want to write a recap of a show, but not even do the whole thing. And somebody's probably paying him to do that. Yeah, right.
Gotta play the music under the promo.
Right. It should have been here the whole time.
Yeah, it should have.
But yeah. So that's where we're at for you here on the Moose. That's where we're at. So we appreciate all you guys. Just want to say that.
Every time I try to hit that one, it's so loud.
What did you just say to me?
I was trying to put that in there at one point in time for you.
I said to Ben. I also called Ben out for getting the wrong playwright when he said Barefoot in the Park. He said Eugene O'Neill, and then I was like, I had to message him later after I heard it, and I was like, "It's Neil Simon, you son of a bitch." But I'm not gonna.
And you shouldn't have said it.
I'm always listening, guys. I'm always listening. So everybody mind their P's and Q's.
Society, he just put you over in the chat, by the way, if you didn't see it.
Woo.
Society. What's up?
Society's my favorite.
Society. Yep. Well, if you if you guys, I mean, if you don't have anything else, Vet, let's hit them with the social media, and let's ride on out of here.
Yep, you can see it right there. It's right under my face at Opinion Haver, and that will work anywhere. It will. I don't know about that, Spaceman, but I would if I had to, if called upon. Yeah, if you type in Opinion Haver, you're gonna find me in some form or fashion. So
Even on Grindr.
That could be well, that might be somebody else. But you will find
Big Ray.
right anywhere on like YouTube or Twitch or even things that you're not. It's not just Twitter. It's not just Instagram, Facebook, anywhere. Like and a few other weird things will pop up too. Probably not Grindr. Get your heads out of the gutter, but just things that you might not expect. PlayStation Network, like if you like video games or whatever, and you're like, hey, what is Opinion Haver play video games? Yes, PlayStation
Not good
Network.
Opinion Haver.
No,
it's just Opinion Haver. Yeah.
It's just like you see it, just like you see it. So you can find me anywhere you want to, or so you can have as much or as little vet in your life as necessary.
That works, yes. And guys, make sure you listen to all the great shows we have on patreon.com/Hameen Media Group. If you sign up, you can listen to the FR podcast, and you can get all of our shows for free. We will probably not be on the new Trump website, but we will be on the Realm Network. When it gets launched, you will be able to listen to all of our shows, plus a lot of great and exciting new content as the vet hammers away on his keyboard to answer the chat.
That's a callback to Rachel Ellering's promo on Tennille.
No, look, Sonic the Hedgehog's checking OnlyFans for an Opinion Haver. He would be your first subscriber.
I haven't got them all, but I do
news.
like taking handles. I do like taking the handle off of places that I'm never going to use. Like I have a Snapchat and I deleted it just so I could take the name and no one else could have it.
That is awesome. That is awesome. So guys, make sure you're going and listening to all the shows that we have at our Patreons. Mine specifically at patreon.com/The A Show. Going to be putting out a show tonight, as well as a few other things. Really
What's
fun
on that show? What's on that episode?
This episode, Aaron actually spoils the NWA results.
Holy shit.
Weeks before the actual NWA aired, and it was the I had to take it down because he hit me up like a few hours after the show, and
we don't have to spoil it here, but
no, I won't let you know who won between Nick Aldis and Trevor Murdoch. I'll let you guys go and watch that, but I will let you know.
I'll let you guys look at them and figure it out.
JTG versus Fred Rosser was a fire match on that pay-per-view. But yeah, the Canada Spaceman saw it. He saw the April and Aaron had a boob flex off at the end of the show. April wasn't sure if she could still pop her pecs with her new boob job that she got, and she got them going strong. And Canada Spaceman, you might actually see a video floating around on the internet. I got to send it to Vickery. He's thinking about putting something together for us to tweet out of Aaron and April having their little their boob flex off. That would be a lot of fun. Let's see. What else did we? The biggest thing I remember about that show was that Aaron spoiled the NWA because he hit me up a few hours later and he's like, "That's not on the internet anywhere, is it?" And I had been leaving stuff up on YouTube and Twitch. And I was like, I'm not home right now, but when I get home, I'll immediately go and take it down. So I don't want you losing your job for something like that. That would not be good. No.
But, everything that they're doing over there on NWA is cool. Check it out. Boy, I don't think HMG has an NWA show. I've said too much.
Who said too much? You can always come find out what happens at the NWA if you come listen or watch the A Show. Right now we go live 7:30 p.m.
Sometimes way too early.
7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now that I'm working more days, they've been kind to switch their schedule around for me. So we're every Tuesday 7:30 at night Eastern Standard Time. You can catch us on twitch.com/The A Show. Come join the fun. I guess Canada Spaceman has join the fun and trying to download episodes there. I have a lot of fun. It's so much fun. Aaron and April are awesome. I enjoy getting to work with them as much as enjoy getting to work with you and everyone else here at Hami Media Group that I've gotten to work with and the relationships that we forged here. And Vet, before I get out of here, I want to make sure to let you know you mean a lot to me, Vet. You're a good dude. I care a lot about you. And he's no selling me right now, people. Do you see this? He is
letting you finish.
He's just no selling me.
Just
I just
like
want
Kanye,
you to know,
I'm letting you finish, Colin.
I just want you to know how much you mean to me, Vet.
Thank you, Colin. You know, you are the world's greatest producer, the world's greatest singer, and the world's greatest wrestler. Ain't he great? Ha ha ha.
I'll be debuting on
main roster
next week, guys. Come check us out. And as always, before we get out of here, I have to tell everyone goodbye and good night.
Goodbye. Mwah. And good night.